Hello, everybody. How are ya? I'm ChartGal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We will get started in about 20 seconds officially. I'm just going to say hi to my friends. I hope you are good. Hey, Gita. Hey, Dunville, Hugh, Tomato, Lusmar. Hey, Bo. How are ya? Hope you're doing well. Hope you survived the day. It was a rough one, I'm not going to lie. We had a trend. The trend was easy, but it's easy in hindsight, not when you're tackling it. So I totally get it and I totally understand. Hey, Adrian. Great question, Jessica. Hey, JP to win. Okay, it's 5 p.m. Eastern. Let's get started. Hi, I'm ChartGal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. I've been a trader and technical analyst for the last 8.5 years. I get asked often, how did you get into trading? So I'm going to answer that and then we'll get started with your questions. So in 2016, I sold my business. I had been working on that business overall for 18 years. I had opened the business 7 years officially. Before that, I had been working in the industry almost 20 years, and I managed over 200 physicians. I sold the business and I just knew I'd be able to retire. My goal was to sell it at 40 and retire. And when I looked at my IRA, I looked at my 401k, anything the financial advisor had a hold of, she had in REITs. So REITs, financial advisors can make huge percentages, huge commissions. So she was making 12% commission and I couldn't get out of it. It was horrible. And I'm like, well, I have an MBA. I can figure this out. I ran a business. It was successful. I have an MBA. I can figure this out. And MBA has nothing to do with it. Running a business maybe, but MBA had nothing to do with it. And it was definitely a hard road to hoe, whether you had an MBA or you never went to college. Trading is very, very difficult. And in my prior business, I was I was a certified coder, certified medical executive, and one of my specialties was interventional nephrology and nephrology coding. And they had a book about this big. Once you learn that book, you're done. And by learn that book, learn how to use it, know how to look things up. Doctors would ask me, a CVC catheter thrombectomy, like 36870, 75827, and it was a finite amount of information. Now, the physician HR side was definitely changing at all times, but the data was very finite, and I felt like I wasn't learning anymore. It wasn't as challenging. I used to tell people I was a glorified babysitter. As far as dealing with physicians, no offense to physicians, but doing physician HR and governance is tough. So anyway, I wanted to get out of that business and I wanted more freedom. And trading represented freedom to me. And I loved the challenge. So here I am today. I joined the Chart Guys in February 2017, and the rest is literally history. So let's get to your questions. All right. Gita, you're in options for Hood and Amazon. Can I go over them? Sure. Hood. And make my face a little smaller. All right, so Hood, like everybody else, took a bloodbath today. We're losing the daily 50 MA. I wouldn't say it's decisive at this point. Weekly, we're in an uptrend. I don't like this upper wick of profit taking. Looks like we have earnings Wednesday, August 7th. You didn't denote whether it's calls or puts, but I'll just say that if you're in puts, I think you're a lot safer than calls. And if you're looking to add puts, I would wait for a bounce and look for a 4-hour lower high to add to that. Amazon has earnings next week. Options are going to be very difficult for next Friday because the premium is going to be jacked. So Amazon on the weekly is in an uptrend. Considering the amount of boxes that I have downstairs, I'm assuming Amazon's going to beat, but I always assume that, and they don't always beat. So that's what the word assume means, We're holding 180. We double bottom 180.41, 180.11. I would say as long as 180 is holding, I would stay in any calls that you have for this Friday. If you're looking for options next week, I just can't condone that because you have no edge. John O. He's one of our longtime members and a very nice guy. If you could go back in time 10 years, what would you tell your trader self other than buy a bunch of Bitcoin? I would say do less. Look at less tickers, look at less indicators, follow less people. I did what most traders do. I went looking for the holy grail indicator. I went looking for that ticker that had some type of pattern that okay, this is more consistent. I can do this. I would have just focused on support, resistance, and I would have started out as a support resistance trader and kept it a lot more simple. Less trades, less tickers, less indicators, less time. I would have put in a trade on the day, put a stop loss in, shut the freaking computer. The micromanaging of the trades was definitely one of my downfalls. So at the time where I wasn't heavily involved in TCG and I wasn't working full time anymore because I was done with my business, I could have just put the trade on and let it go, let it ride. And I know the results would have been a lot better. So we hear a lot, oh, I work full time, I can't join TCG. Wait, that's actually the perfect person to join TCG. Do your homework at night, your homework in the morning, set a trading view alert, look at your phone, get the alert, go to the app, put in the trade, put in your stop loss, shut your phone down. One of the hardest things to do as a trader is let a winning trade run. And you kind of have to let it run if you're not looking at it. So I would have picked up healthier hobbies versus just staring at the computer infinitely. But those thousands of hours in the seats got me to where I am, and that I have watched. I would have to ask Dan. I would say I'm definitely at 10,000 hours. I'd have to go back and do the math. I was pretty obsessed at the beginning, and I'm still obsessed. I just limit my hours a little bit more. I hurt my back in April, and that kind of forces you to limit your hours. You can't sit in a chair for 14 hours a day or even stand up for 14 hours a day looking at a computer. But if I did, I would love every second of it. Every waking hour, if I could look at a computer screen, I would. It's just not healthy. You need balance. To be a good trader, you need balance. So, all right. John O., what drives you? What drives me is freedom, independence. I grew up in a very poor area of Louisiana, 0 to 5 years old. I was actually in a trailer. I thought the whole world went north-south only. And at 5 years old, my parents built a house. My dad built a business, and we became a little bit more successful. But I saw my parents struggle early on. We ate, not to gross anyone out, but we ate Vienna sausage, bologna, potted meat. And I saw the struggle, and I'm like, I don't ever want this for my family. So I kind of took on my parents had 3 girls and then a boy. The baby was a boy. So we were raised as boys. So I just, went hunting, fishing, and I thought, like, I'm a provider. So I have to provide for my future family, make sure they don't have to eat bologna if they don't want to. So I would say it is definitely genetic to be an entrepreneur and push. And my work ethic is just totally inherent in who I am and who my parents brought me up to be. When you do a lot of physical labor growing up, planting hay sprigs, it teaches you a discipline that other people just don't understand. And this is a lot easier than planting hay. So, okay. RM had a lot of questions, so I'm going to have to limit some of them. My favorite part of trading is, it's too many. My favorite part of trading is probably scouting the trade, hunting it. I love to hunt. I don't hunt anymore. I don't hunt animals anymore because I don't need to eat. Growing up, we had to eat, but scouting trades is kind of like hunting, and I like that. I really like it. Finding we would go look and we'd say, okay, that branch is broken, or we see the hoof print, or we see, the deer rub their antlers on this tree. And so you're looking for all these hints and signs, and you find the deer, and it's just like, yes. And it's the same thing with trading. I'm hunting all the time, and I enjoy it. The hardest bit to learn is learning how to hold on to winners. I think that's There's a lot of hard parts. That's definitely one of the harder parts. And it only, in my opinion, comes with experience. You have to get hours in the seat to learn how to hold on to a winner. How do I handle FOMO? This is actually my favorite question, and I saw it before we went live, and I went and looked this up. Before I forget, we do have a free trial we're running. This is the third time we've done this year, and the last 3 years we didn't do it at all because it would just overwhelm us in the chat room. So now we limit it to 50 people. That's it. When we reach 50, that's it. So let me put this link in chat right here. So if you are interested in joining our chat room to see what we're all about, there's a free trial for 14 days. So you can join, and when we hit 50, it's over. And I don't know when we'll do another one. All right, so handling FOMO. I had to show this. I thought it was super important. There's two things that I don't want to say haunt me, but just that I remind myself, Lori, you were on the right track. You were doing your homework, you were studying, and you did nothing about it. You've uncovered this diamond in the rough, and you literally did nothing about it. So this is January 6, 2021 at 9:20 a.m. I asked the TCG mods, which are the best of our traders that are moderators or chart guys or chart gals, hey, this guy's info is amazing, but I don't understand. How is game short interest 135% of float? And nobody could give me a straight answer. They're like, it's naked short selling. I'm like, okay, I understand that, but I haven't seen this before. Guess how much money I made off GameStop that year? None. Then I was not trading small caps. I was not trading meme stops. I was in my high beta world, and I like to stay focused. But this was just an uncovered gem that I could have done something with. So if you want to go back to January 2021 and look at that chart, January 6th specifically, and see how it exploded after, and see how that was a missed opportunity. And to me, it's just like, you know what, Lori? It's a reminder. These opportunities, they come along. Not every day, but they come along. The other one that haunts me is 3 years ago I posted, it was at 5:50 a.m. or something like that. I was watching CNBC. And CNBC released it before it was on Twitter. Tesla bought 1.5 billion of Bitcoin, SEC filing. 3 years ago, guess how much Bitcoin I bought that day? It was more important for me to share the information versus hitting buy. I had money in Coinbase. I could have bought it. I had money in Thinkorswim. I could have bought Bitcoin ETFs. And it's like, why did you do that? You saw, and Bitcoin spiked so big, and I didn't take advantage of it. So those things happen. And I understand now that I am not a surfer. I watched my son learn how to surf in Hawaii. And you have so many waves that coming in and out and in and out. And the surfers, you know, they're always waiting for the big one. And then they'll make a quick decision based on the information they have and say, okay, this is a good wave. They'll jump on it, ride it in, and then they turn around and look at their buddy caught a huge one. And it's like, oh, I've been waiting all day for that. That trading's the same exact way. You can only ride one wave at a time. You know, there's only so much water to touch. So just stay focused on the trade you scouted, on the trade you're in, and let the rest go. There's plenty of opportunity. Just live to trade another day. Plenty of opportunity. And now I have JOMO, joy of missing out. I understand that if I don't catch something, it's fine. I'll catch the next thing. It's no big deal. How do I decide when to re-enter after significant run or dump? 10%. I'm just looking for trend changes on small time frames, which is something we really harp on and teach a lot in Chart Guys. Price action, price action, price action. I would prefer to get someone local, few traders. Any accounting recommendations from the Chart Guys? Hugh, if you're a Chart Guys member, we have a member, RS. He specializes in trader accounting. So it's at RS is his name, Rohit Sharma. He is a Canadian CPA, and he also practices in the US. So if you're a TCG member, you can reach out to RS. And I think the other one that I get emails from, and I learned a lot, I actually taught my CPA how to do my taxes in Nevada because he had no traders as part of his business. Green Trader Tax. Seems to be a problem with their website right now. I'm getting an error, but Green Trader Tax is another one. I don't know why I'm getting this error, but they send out a lot of good information. Do I trade breakouts? Yes. Any suggestions to trade breakouts effectively and avoid fake outs? Well, you can wait for the breakout itself and then wait for a back test. So Intel was one of my recent trades that I just drooled over and talked about it a lot with pre-gamers and TCG members. So you just kind of draw a box around the base of what you're watching. So let's just look here. I'm gonna have to turn off my magnet real quick to get this to work. So when you break out of that base over 3150, you could enter long at 3150, or you can wait and say, okay, I'm gonna watch lower term time frames. I'm gonna wait for a breakout and then a retest of that 3150. So when you have a base that's pretty long, like this one was about 6 weeks. The longer the base, the higher in space is it's one of the sayings. So the longer the base, I mean, when it's really long, taking a breakout is a little bit safer than versus taking a base that's on a 1 minute chart that's lasted 5 minutes. That's not as reliable. But this type of base and foundation, taking a breakout in this circumstance, I love. And you can't avoid fake outs. It's going to happen. Just risk management, risk management. Luzmar wants to know if Trump wins the election, how would that affect metals? Okay, I'm going to have to just make some assumptions here and leap, so bear with me. I'm not political. It has nothing to do with Trump, Harris, whatever. Just it is what it is. It just gives me a headache. From what I understand, I think that Trump, and from what I remember when he was president, he wanted a strong dollar. So if Trump is aiming for a strong dollar and achieves it through his financial policies, then I would anticipate that that would inversely and negatively impact gold and metals and commodities. If the dollar is strong, typically they're inverse. Not always, typically. That's my guess, but that is just literally a guess. How do you find names to trade? Tomato, you could literally just say, okay, I mean, this is a great name to trade every day. Mara, what's the volatility on this one? Let's look at the ATR. This thing right now is a $20 stock, $21, and the average true range is $2 a day. That's 10%. That's insane. Mara gives you all the volatility you need to get scalps in both directions. Delete everything in your computer. Delete everything but Mara. QQQ should give you enough. Not always, but it could. The Russell IWM, great one. Just, you need a name to move in day trading in order to get a piece of the move. So just find something that's super volatile, study it, and then find one that gives you an extra clue. Like Mara, you can watch Bitcoin and QQQ and get context clues and say, okay, I'm not just watching Mara. I can watch these other two names and they're going to give me clues. Like if Bitcoin breaks out before Mara, you could say, okay, I'm going to get in a long Mara laggard. So how do I do a very long process, but I also have different responsibilities than most. So this list, 2024, this is my main list. It has 180 symbols on it. I look at all 180 symbols every morning. I get up around 3 or 3:30 a.m. I study the market. I do the whiteboard, which is our internal, it's like a 3-page document of going through commodities, indices, our ETFs, and then high beta names, VIX, marijuana names, and crypto. And then I scroll to the very bottom. I go here and I go to the hourly and I just start, boom, go. So Russell closed with potential bear flag. So tomorrow could look for a potential bounce. So will sometimes move that up to my Queen of the Mountain list and say, okay, I'm going to watch IWM. And so if the hourly has a decent setup, then I'll go look at the daily or weekly, because I'm mainly eyeing day trades. And this is what I do. I'm literally clicking name by name. But that's not the most efficient if you don't have a lot of time. I'm doing it because I'm trying to find the highest conviction trades. Monitor 5 names. One of the best traders I ever met in my life. She was unfreaking believable. She traded 5 names. It was Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Tesla. That's it. She had no indicators on her chart. None. She had no candles. Price was a line. And she would just map out and say, okay, Tesla, 4 hour. She would change price to a line. There's something here I can do to hide indicators. And let's see. Well, I guess I can't hide price. So she would just look at it and just say, okay, I'm going to map out my levels. I'm not doing a good job of describing what she did, but here's a level, here's a level, here's a level. And when price got to that level, she'd buy at support, short at resistance. She kept it simple. Let's see if I can get my chart back. Okay, got it back. Okay. Hello. Hey, Jessica. Jessica wants to know, how did you finally break to profitability, and what was the last thing holding you back? I'm very vocal about my journey, not because I want everybody to know what I've gone through. It's sometimes a little embarrassing, but at this age, not a lot of things are embarrassing. But I like to help people because I went through a lot of pain in trading, and I don't want everyone to go through the pain that I've gone through. So I actually sought out therapy. I sought out cognitive behavioral therapy, what was causing my cognitive dissonance, when I knew what to do and I did the opposite. What was my desire and drive for self-sabotage? Why did I think I didn't deserve good things when I know this trade should work, and I would purposefully sabotage myself? So I had to work through a lot. I went through, I don't know if they call it MDM, where you tap or you have the paddles in your hand, and the therapists, they buzz, and then you try to bring the level of distress down. Anyway, I went through therapy. That was holding me back, and my focus was just too broad. I mean, I've told you I hunted, so this shouldn't offend anyone. I hunted growing up. I went from a shotgun to a rifle approach. So I felt like I opened the day like this, and it's like I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm going to trade all this stuff. And when I'm like, zoop, and I get to a rifle approach, a laser, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm waiting on. This is what I'm looking at. And this is what I want. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So focus. And then you have to work on discipline. I'm hesitating to share this, but I've had to work on, what I eat, losing weight. I'm back to exercising now after my back injury. Trading makes you face every discipline issue you have in your life. You have to fix it and face it in order to apply it in trading. It's the craziest occupation there is. It really is nuts. It's like, wait, I have to work on my diet in order to trade well? Yeah, you do. You got to get your life in order. And I'm not saying mine is in order, but the closer I got to having things organized, I have my habit tracker here. This is my weekly planner. This is my daily planner. And yes, I'm ancient and I like to write things down. So weekly, I'm tracking my habits. Daily, I'm tracking habits, water intake. What am I eating? Am I accomplishing what I need to do? And chaos breeds calamity. I keep a clean house. I'm very organized, and I don't like to let my life get out of control. I like to keep everything organized. I got Walmart order being delivered within the hour. I schedule time. Okay, I don't need to go to Walmart. I'm going to get everything delivered that I need done. So not to be too verbose, but I think it's important. And Jessica's my girl. I had to take time to answer hers. How would you hedge a long call option or long put option of a specific stock? So let's say that you have a call option on Tesla and you have a leap, and let's say Tesla's here and it's flying, and you're like, ugh, I got so much profit, I don't want to lose it. So if Tesla, let's pretend like we're right here, and so that's around 245. So then I would go, I got my magnet on so it doesn't work as well, so let me do the tech. So if I have a 240 call for September and it's in the money, it's big in the money, and I want to protect it, I may sell a 260 call, so I'm going out the money for that same time frame. And you can also, you can do ratios, you can do a different date if you want, but to keep it simple, you sell an out of the money call that has a lower probability of getting there, and that way if price goes sideways or comes in a bit, you're collecting that premium from that higher strike while preserving the income to a degree on that lower strike. Look at me being concise. Hey, Success. How are you? I washed my hair for y'all, but I do have a clip because it's 107 degrees and hot. And I turned my air off to, so y'all wouldn't have to listen to it. Hey, Jonathan, how are you? I love my TCG members. Hey, Make Believe, where are you? Come back to TCG. Hey, Fractal. Hey, Mal, thanks for staying up. Hey, Dollar Tree Farmer, saw y'all this morning and seeing y'all this evening. Life is good. Hey, Jill. Hey, Topher. I don't know. Okay, Tim always asks, I haven't even read his question. I'm closing my eyes. He always asks the most thought-provoking questions. Very sharp dude. And he's a TCG member. So let me take my time. How has my routine process changed over the years from newer, full-time to consistently profitable to now? How priorities changed over time and which core things are non-negotiable? I know you watch me trade in the morning. So let's say I'm watching NVDA. Y'all see how I do it in Apple. So I just bring these two charts over and I have my options set up. That's new. So I have them set up in Active Trader. I'm ready to roll. And all of these other names I keep up, they're for later day trades, or they're for me to help TCG members. They're not theoretically for me to trade. I have my focus here, and I just have like laser eyes on those two names. So before I would have all of my charts over here, and I'm just like click, 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 click. Where's a trade? Can I find a trade? Where's a trade? Where now I have my charts marked up. I have alerts. Alerts are probably the best thing I've added in the last 2 years. It helps me from having to stare at charts all day. I'll just get something I'm watching to happen. For example, Dow, 40,000 tomorrow. Give me. Oh, wait. Y'all see that triangle right there? 40,000. I have an alert set. That has changed. That's definitely changed my process. Alerts have made me more efficient. Okay, Jill says, can you please talk about some of your biggest losses on your trading journey, especially in the beginning, and how you regrouped and got beyond them? Big thing in trading, and it's a pet peeve of mine. And having pet peeves and ego, there's really no place for that in trading. It kind of drives me nuts. But I do have just one thing that when I hear people say it, you didn't say it, Jill, I'm not saying you did. I just want to throw it out there. People will say, how do I make those losses back? You don't. The money is gone. If you lose $1,000, buy. You will never see that $1,000 again. Can you make a new $1,000 on a new trade? Sure. Your balance will be restored? Absolutely. But that money's gone forever. And coming to terms with that is big. It is huge in your journey. The money is gone because the revenge trading can ruin your trading journey. It can ruin your personal relationships, and it just decreases the quality of your life. Come to terms with the money is gone forever. How did I regroup? Take a break. When I would force myself to keep trading, I would just dig a bigger hole. Take a breath, take a breather, journal, reflect. I've been married way too many times. And I just went from one marriage, my first marriage, to my second marriage without really regrouping, not seeking therapy. What went wrong? What's wrong with my picker outer? Was it not my picker outer? What's my communication style? That dissection is absolutely needed to become a better partner, a better person. And trading is exactly the same. You have to be able to reflect, seek help, analyze. If there's something if you're newer to trading and you're not consistently profitable, my best advice to you right now, and I'm sure I'll think of something later too, but my best advice to you is journal. And it's the quality of journaling, logging. If your trade setups are double tops, double bottoms, and today I called this trade out live on the Russell. And I'm like, hey, we got a double top right here. We broke by 11 cents. And then I'm like, whoa, higher bear volume, short setup. And if you're a TCG member and you were here this morning, you can put that in chat that I actually did do that. I mean, and you missed that trade, journal and say, okay, this was a double top with elevated volume, and tag it. Have your tags. And then realize this is a good trade setup for me, or my performance and success rate with this trade setup is horrific. I need to throw it out of my playbook. I trade better on Mondays. Mondays are my best trading day. Fridays are my worst trading day. Thyself. You must know thyself in order to improve. Journal. Do I think NVDA will have a bounce soon? No idea. And that's also big, is letting go of what you think is going to happen. Let it go. And Frozen style, let it go. I can't sing. Do I think it'll bounce? We're not oversold on the daily. 4 hour is not oversold. Hourly is oversold. Got a potential bear flag? Maybe not. So we'll see. And so my criteria will be, okay, I want a 2-minute trend change during regular trading hours, and then I will enter long for that bounce trade. Done. I don't have to think about will it or won't it. I don't care. Show me. We're in Missouri. This is show me state. I don't have to guess. Okay, I'm getting kind of wound up. I need to calm down. Can you explain the difference higher low, lower high during different time frames? Which one is more important to monitor? David, the higher time frame is always more important. Higher time frame, you give more weight because it's gathered more data. However, if you missed the pregame show this morning, I actually spent a lot of time on this gold scenario this morning. So yesterday I drew this. I'm like, gold is looking for a daily higher low. That's going to be, and I actually wrote this on the screen. I wrote this on the screen. Number 1 in our sequence, this daily higher low is going to be number 1 in our sequence. And then number 2 will be a daily lower high in this area. So I'm looking for a bounce. Will it be a bear flag, which it could be right now, or will it be equilibrium? Step 1, daily higher low. That's what I was looking for yesterday. Today, now I'm looking for a lower high. Now, on the weekly, this is more important, but I don't have a most likely scenario on the weekly. So I'm using the daily to help me find my trade. So the weekly is more important, but sometimes you get clarity on different time frames that will help you with a trade setup and get you more granular. So yeah, the weekly is more important, but this daily was crystal clear for me what the sequencing most likely scenarios were. NEM. Speaking of gold, we're running into the weekly 200 MA, weekly uptrend, monthly 50 MA overhead. That's all green. But, and here's another example. I went weekly, monthly. Now I'm coming back down. Okay, so now I'm looking for a daily lower high. to be the more likely scenario here on NEM. So now a bear is looking to top fish. Let's see if it happened today. Did we get an hourly downtrend? No. So now tomorrow, so 48.88 you hit in after hours, 48.97 is your high. So tomorrow, if you push up into 48.97, then you're going to go to the 2 minute and say, okay, 48.97, let's pretend like that level is here. Let's say it's 48.50. Then you're going to look for a 2 minute trend change to the downside to attempt to nail that daily lower high. So you use the larger term time frames to set up the trade for the most likely scenario, then lower term time frames for the trigger. You need a most likely scenario, then you need a trigger. Okay, sorry, I've lost y'all somewhere in here. I'm way behind. I don't know. So I'm going to limit this to an hour. We have 25 more minutes, so we'll see. Do have thoughts about natural gas? Yeah, I call it natural trash. That's my thought. I'm kind of out of control here. We're looking for a potential daily lower high on nat gas, but nat gas is nat trash. It's called the Widowmaker for a reason. This thing is very dangerous. It can be very dangerous, and it can get a lot more extended to the upside and downside longer than you can remain solvent. We are in a monthly downtrend, weekly downtrend, a daily downtrend, 4 hour. We're looking for a higher low, but bulls are showing no appetite. Hourly, potential bear flag. We got inventory tomorrow. Stay in reverse back burner until it stops working. Now, I was trading, I think it was at 2018, when all those hedge funds blew up because they were shorting nat gas. They were forced to, they got liquidated, and nat gas just shot up. And just liquidated all these hedge funds. So nat gas can be dangerous in both directions. And right now it's nat trash. And don't give me any of that weather stuff. You'll make me want to vomit. I tried to track the weather and nat gas the first few years I was trading and track inventory. I have people now say, what did Powell say? I don't know. What was the nat gas inventory? I don't know, and I don't care. Price action tells me everything I need to know. I don't need to clog my brain. Lori, you got stuck in Tesla trade. You had no idea earnings was after the bell. Okay, well, that's step one, is look up your earnings. And I don't mean to rub salt in the wound. You're stuck. I get it. You're never stuck, though. You choose to be stuck. A lot of us have gotten stuck, and I was the queen of it, and it's because we refuse to admit we were wrong. Or we don't want to admit that if we sell and we take the loss, it's like, and then it bounces, now I feel terrible, or, oh my God, I was so wrong. You're never stuck. Just get the frick out, you know? You could wait till tomorrow and see if there is a bounce, but you're not stuck. I mean, if you want to hold it and sell covered calls and try to get your cost basis a little bit better, that's on you. But if you wouldn't enter Tesla long right now, tomorrow morning, if you wouldn't enter it where it is tomorrow, then sell it. You shouldn't hold on to something just because it's a bag. If it's a trade that you don't like at any point in time, sell it. Sell it, sell it, sell it. Move on. Okay. Hey, average guy wants to know that I said something regarding the number of times that stock attempts to go through a resistance or a support level. Yeah, let's go look at, Intel is just on the brain right now. $31.50, $31.50, $31.42, $31.42. Okay, so think about this. Where is it? This is so much fun. Thank y'all for being here. Me and this magnet, we're gonna fight. All right. If you have institutional sellers up here that have big blocks to sell, and they're like, okay, I'm waiting for 31.47. I'm waiting for 31.47. That's where I'm going to sell, is in that area. You get to that area, now that block is gone. It's sold. It's gone. Then you go to the next, you hit it again. And so now we've gone from Bank of America. Now we have, make it up, Wells Fargo. They have their block sitting there. Now this block is gone, sold. Now you have another block over here by Citigroup or Goldman Sachs, either one. Now this one is gone. And you just keep taking out overhead supply. Think about it. If people say, oh, I will sell this dress if, Plato's Closet will give me $31.50. I'll sell these dresses. Well, what if you only have 3 dresses and this, like, you keep selling them and now you have no more overhead supply, and then the price goes to $34 and you're like, crap, I have no more dresses to sell. It's supply and demand. This overhead supply gets taken out and then you have nobody else that is selling. You've taken out all the sellers and then buyers can push through. So the overall rule of thumb is, I would say, the third time it gets stronger. So you test resistance. Okay, it held. Okay, that's a resistance. Second time, okay, that's a good top fish setup. Okay, third time, you're probably eroding overhead supply. And the fourth time, it increases the chances you break through. I think of it as knocking on cement overhead. You knock on it, it's cement. The second time, you kind of crack it. Third time, you crack it some more. Fourth time, it's glass and you break through. So I hope that made sense. My biggest hurdles to prevent going on tilt or working with your emotions when on a losing streak. Decrease size. It's not easy, but it's so easy. That's such a straightforward thing to do. When you're on tilt, go in sim mode or decrease size. How many trades do I usually take on most days? I would say, it's a hard question to answer. I would say 4 to 6 setups, but I may take 100 fills on that. So I may buy a call, sell it when it pushes up, then add it back when it comes back in. So I can go in and out of the same trade setup 20 times in a day. It's happened before. ARM, I've traded 50 times in one day in February. So the setups may be 4 or 5, but the ins and outs, it can be multiple. When do you believe rates will be decreased? July, I believe it's September. CME, Fed, Watch, Tool. We're going to have to do this again. We got so many of y'all. So many questions. Okay, so the Fed Watch Tool. So right now, our current rate is 500. No, our current is 525 to 550. So right now, they have it staying put. 93% chance on July 31st, it'll stay the same. Okay? Then September, this is all on CME Group and it's free. CME Group has us a 90% chance of a cut on September 18th. So this is all available free to you on CME FedWatch. Do you still hunt and fish? I love to fish, and I catch and release. I love to go hunting with my dad, but I just scout with him. I like to climb up in a tree stand. I've videoed for my dad before. It's just fun, but I do not hunt. I do not own guns anymore personally, and I do not kill animals anymore. When I teach the back burner and you want a day of euphoria, what defines euphoria? Silver, it's definitely not a simple question. You're just looking for an outsized move. So this would be an outsized move on Intel. This green day, that would not be an outsized move. So it's definitely subjective, but you want a huge move up, and then that back burner, that's when it pulls back, especially on blue sky breakouts, all-time highs, those are better. But the general rule of thumb is outsized moves. I love that Intel is sitting on that daily 50 MA right there. Love it. Have to remember that tomorrow. Do you go full position? Any tips for pyramiding properly? Pyramiding is very difficult. I mean, Lamont's better at it than me as far as explaining it. Well, he's better at a lot of stuff than me. He's amazing. But if I'm looking to go, I'm trying to think of an example. If I'm looking to go long on, let's say, crowd, and I'm looking for a support, it supports 238.61, I may say, okay, I'm going to enter a level here, here, and here. Maybe $5 increments down to 238.61. Below 238, I'm wrong and I stop out. And the sizes get bigger the closer I get to 238.61. I could do a whole class on that. It's a pretty complicated answer. That's just the simplest I can make it. What do I like to do for fun when you're not trading? I love being with my family. I cooked for my nephew who has celiac Sunday for 3.5 hours, and that brings me a lot of joy. He's playing football in the morning. My sister travels a lot for work, and he's working construction. He's 16 years old, and so I made him breakfast and lunch for the whole week. That brings me joy. I love interior design and real estate. Those are my two passions in life, and LSU football. I'm going to the LSU USC game Labor Day weekend, so love it, love it. In my experience, I have felt more effective buying at support and shorting at resistance versus buying and selling at breakouts. In general, I have seen it work better to buy at support and sell at resistance. Is there a time frame to confirm a breakout? It depends on what time frame you're looking for the breakout. If you're looking at a daily chart for Intel, let's say for 3150, any time frame, 5 minute, 15-minute, you see a breakout over 3150, then it's a breakout. A small cap rotation, do I think it's real? I think it's part short covering and part buying. I think it is. Of course it's real. It's happening, so it's real. Just what part of it is short covering versus real bulls buying? What happened today? Atticus bought all the dips. Earnings, tech earnings, Google, strikeout, bad earnings. Tesla, bad earnings. Netflix, not that great. And now we're coming up on a big round of earnings, Super Bowl of earnings next week, and people are de-risking ahead of that. If you ran up this hard, I mean, for those of you who watch me, like pound on the table for my birthday, I said I wanted Intel to break. At the time, it was what, y'all, $400 or yeah. I said break it, and I want to buy. And if you bought at $39 and you ain't selling up at $140 in 8 months, you need your head checked. You got to start de-risking when you have this kind of gains, and I meant that in the most respectful way possible. What does it mean to get risk-free in a trade? It is to sell, like if you're long, sell on a push up, and that way you can move your stop to a place where you can where you can't lose on the trade. So far as options, let's say if I buy options at 50 cents, which is really $50, at 50 cents, I may sell half at $1, and then that other half is now free. I can't lose on that trade. And I sell, when I get 100% on options move, I always sell half, and now my remaining position is completely risk-free. How much do I rely on technical chart indicators? If a stock is cheap or not. Gut feeling is crap. sorry, gut feeling doesn't have a place in trading. I mean, you have to use your intuition. I guess that's the same thing, but gut feelings have gotten me in way more trouble than it's made me money. Use indicators. Trade what you see, not what you want to see. What is my specialty? Options are probably my number one specialty. Futures are a specialty of mine. But options are a lot more complicated, and because I've spent so much time with it, I think it provides me a very unique edge compared to futures. So I love both of them though. How do you even learn to trade options? Go in a simulator, and don't come out of the simulator until you're profitable. Don't come out of it. It's the most expensive tuition you will pay is learning options. And our goal is to have an options course within the next 6 months. That's our goal. And I really hope we can roll that out sooner than later. Futures, you're going to have a higher reward, but also a higher risk compared to ETFs. Fidelity does not have futures. You would have to use Thinkorswim or Trade-Evate, which are my two favorite. Matt, I don't know if we're going to get a bounce tomorrow. Hourly oversold is not enough on SPY. You need more. I mean, if it was daily oversold, we're not even close. Not even close. We're at the daily 50 MA. That's good. 4 hours oversold, but you would have to have all those time frames oversold to say, okay, that really increases the odds. We're going to get an oversold bounce. Right now, you don't have those odds absolutely lined up in your favor. Date and strike for a call or put. So I usually do same week expiration unless it's Thursday or Friday. Thursday or Friday, I will roll out to the next Friday. And strike, I do one in the money or one at the money. Lewis, just keep moving down your stop to the last 15-minute lower high. If SPY regains a 15-minute trend, you stop out. Someone is asking what should you focus on day trading or swing trading. I think if you have very limited time, I would definitely focus on swing trading, and we have a swing report, so I would definitely focus on swing trading. Bob the Butcher, if you're on a stair step down, like Copper was, I was discussing this morning, he's asking me about this, and you're in a stair step down, and then you have a bull move up, you could switch to a bull, or you wait for the bounce to look for the lower high to short again. This is a down move. I'm just looking for a bounce to short. I don't want to short in the hole. Daily RSI is 30. You don't have a lot of meat left on that bone. I want to bounce to short. Do I take athletic greens? I did, but I'm very inconsistent with it, if I must admit, because I haven't really seen a big difference. I mean, I get some energy here and there, but yes, it's hard to distinguish impulse from base gut reaction. We will have a gut reaction, or impulse that, oh, SPY is going to bounce. And then we force that thought and we make it a technical analysis outcome, and we say, oh, that's the most likely scenario, and here's the thesis. And what you're doing is you're just shoving your bias into the technical indicators, and that doesn't work. I love you, Jessica. Love you, success. Frank says, options, if I know the stop I want to put on a trade when I'm looking at chart, they don't match up with a premium value. If you want to put stops on options, you can make it cost basis, like based on what you paid for it, or say you don't want to lose more than 20%, or you base it on the underlying. So if Amazon breaks $200, $180, whatever, if Intel breaks $30, I'm out. You can make it on the underlying or the percentage that you're willing to lose. That's awesome, Max. I use options the most. I wait. This is, hey, 3-day hands off. Don't try to buy this dip on day one. Let's get a little more information. You you may have to pay up to gain that information, but it's worth it. Just stepping in and buying a train wreck, make them prove it to you. Make sure you have friends with you on the trade. Alex, I show profitability often. When I'm live trading, I call out my trades. I will post my actual entries, my actual exits. We're not like those, I'm frozen right there. I don't know if I'm really frozen or what. Am I frozen? I don't know. It looks like I'm really pissed. Look at that. I'm frozen. I don't know. We'll keep going. I will sometimes show my profitability and I will also post my losses, but we're not those moon traders, Lambos and Rolex. That's not who we are. I mean, this is a shirt from Walmart. Like, we're not the flashy type. We're not the flashy type. But I understand you don't know who to trust. Just ask right here, right now in chat, any TCG members, ask them, is TCG, has it been helpful for you? And do you trust the people that that are teaching you? And they'll tell you, we're the real deal. I got some fake lips and fake hair, but my trading isn't fake. PayPal. All right. I hope my daughter's not watching. She's probably like, Mom. Yeah, weekly bear flag on PayPal. Daily downtrend, earnings next Tuesday. By the way, my mom has surgery tomorrow. Any good vibes, thoughts, prayers, I would really appreciate it. Yeah, I would wait for a bounce to short. That's a classic weekly bear flag on PayPal. I am not selling iron condors for premium jungle cat because the market started trending. And when it's going sideways, that's like last year it was awesome. But when we're trending up, trending down, I can't. Selling iron condors does not work. Thank you, Ona Ocean, for that tip. Plaquemine, shout out to the Plaquemine people. Inverse ETFs are much safer than options. Thinkorswim option simulator is the one I recommend. I look at delta on options, and I also look at implied vol. I don't spend a lot of time looking at theta, but you could. So I look at delta and implied volatility. I'm in and out pretty quick. TCG members can tell you I'm a pretty quick day trader, so I don't have to fret about theta decay a ton. Oh, there's my girl. Hey, sissy. I'm frozen. Okay. Well, I'm going to let this go. Hey, Rav, I don't know what I did, but I've never frozen a video. That's new. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's 4 o'clock anyway. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. Go give me a follow on X at ChartGal Lori. Check out our trial, our free trial that's in chat. I posted it. I love you all, and I will see these TCG members tomorrow. All right. Love y'all.